In the gospel that was proclaimed right at the procession, it concluded with a couple of very meaningful lines for each one of us pertaining to this Holy Week. It says, "Some of the Pharisees in the crowd said to him, 'Teacher, rebuke your disciples.' He said in reply, 'I tell you, if they keep silent, the stones will cry out.'" My friends, if we consider ourselves to be disciples, well then truly this is our week not to be silent. This is our week to celebrate what we call Holy Week. These are our high holy days as Catholic Christians. In many faith traditions and backgrounds, when they celebrate their high holy days, everything stops. Everything is different. Some may not go to work. They eat different foods. They spend their time differently. They take time in prayer. And this is our week, not to be silent, but rather to be able to exhibit as great witnesses the beauty of our faith. For we are invited to join in the celebration of the Triduum in the passion, death, and resurrection of Christ. And it starts really today with Palm Sunday, remembering the procession of our Lord into Jerusalem. On Wednesday evening, we celebrate what we call the Chrism Mass. It's at the cathedral. Very beautiful event, beautiful Mass where all the priests of the diocese gather, and the place will be very crowded. Many of our parishioners will be there. Chance to celebrate where the oils are blessed. I often mention that when we do baptisms, that the oils are blessed during Holy Week by our bishop. It happens at the Chrism Mass, Wednesday evening. Thursday is an opportunity for us to remember the Lord's Supper. It's at 7 p.m. We have Mass here, and it's a unique Mass because we wash the feet of 12 of our parishioners, as well as have a procession at the end with the Eucharist. We'll process over to the St. Gabriel Center. It's an opportunity for us to remember that night that is different than all other nights, the night that Jesus gave us his body and his blood. On Friday, Good Friday, we have that chance at 3 o'clock to gather as a community and to be able to remember his passion by the veneration of the cross, the reception of Holy Communion. It's a very different type of liturgy. It's very unique. So I invite you to be able to be here. We'll have stations of the cross in the evening for those who are working during the day and not able to be here. We do a special Divine Mercy Stations of the Cross to kick off the novena of the Divine Mercy, celebrated the Sunday after Easter. On Holy Saturday, we have a blessing of foods. It's something that is part of the tradition of many Eastern European peoples. They bring their Easter food here to be blessed, and nice eggs and butter and breads, etc. But maybe you have some Easter food you would like to be blessed. We're happy to do that. It takes place at noon. Also in the evening, we will be welcoming into our community 9 who will be baptized. Before Lent started, we had 25 that were confirmed and received their first communion, came into the Catholic faith, and then at the vigil we celebrate those who were never baptized. So it's a wonderful liturgy, the highest liturgy of the year. Beautiful music. We start in darkness out with a fire, and then we process on in. And obviously Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday is kind of the crown jewel that really, if we arrive on Easter Sunday and we truly want to celebrate with our heart, mind, and soul as a conscious, active, and participating Catholic, well, then hopefully we've experienced Holy Thursday, Good Friday, the tomb, so that we can experience resurrection. Easter is just a beautiful feast for us to celebrate the victory of our Lord, and we'll have a lot of masses. I do tell you that if you expect that maybe you'll get your usual seat on the end or your usual parking spot, don't plan on it, okay? It's going to be kind of crowded, but it's also a day that I know we wear our Easter best, our Easter finery, but also it's a day to put on an attitude also of hospitality. I'm appointing everyone to be ambassadors of hospitality next weekend. to welcome those who are visiting, maybe those who don't worship with us on a regular basis. You never know what difference a smile, an act of kindness in the parking lot may make. You're welcome to park also over at the rectory on Sunday morning as well, or whenever it's too crowded, please feel free, just park over there. There's plenty of grass parking. So just make yourself comfortable. I never want to hear, well, there was no parking, so I couldn't come to Mass. There's plenty. Just walk across the street, make sure you push the button, and run across Montgomery. It doesn't give you a lot of time. So I hope that you know that this is a special week for us. This is a week because you know what, folks? In Altamont Springs, I don't want to hear the stones crying out. I want to hear you crying out. I want to hear, as the pastor here of this parish, people who are entering into the beauty of our holy days. Really, we are people, the stones are not. We have souls, the stones do not. God is waiting for us. And if we make this a holy week, maybe you're traveling, make that effort to stop into a church. If you're maybe kind of like, well, Father, I'm so busy, we have a soccer tournament or something. Well, you know what? Soccer is earthly, God is heavenly. And that's something that the Lord will be able to enjoy the opportunity for you to enter into the gift of being able to worship and to be able to be with Him, to enter into the tomb with Him. We sing a hymn during this week that really kind of sums it all up. Very simply, it says, "Were you there?" It's a question. Were you there when they nailed Him to the cross? Were you there when He picked up His cross? Were you there when He walked up Calvary? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? One day when we're standing on the threshold of heaven, when we stand at that gate there in front of Christ and God, St. Peter, He might ask, were you there? I don't know where else we would want to be during this Holy Week, except walking side by side with Him.